You know, a lot of times we find ourselves in a little predicament where we ask ourselves, do we like ourselves? Do I like who I am now? Do I like how I look? Do I like, where I'm going with my life? Do I like it? Am I satisfied with it? Am I proud of it? And sometimes some people say yes. I am proud. I like how I look, you know. But then unfortunately, there's some people who are just not satisfied with how they look or what they're doing with their life or where they are in life. And it's normal. It tends to happen. It's an unfortunate thing to happen, and I'm not going to lie. I have been in this position. I started bodybuilding because I initially just simply didn't like how it looked. And there are some times where it's an on and off, where it's like I like how I look and don't like how I look. That's just bodybuilding. That's just working out in general. Sometimes you just are unsatisfied with what you're doing. But I'm talking about in a general thing. Like if someone asks you a yes or no answer, someone asks you and you have to answer yes or no. Do you like who you are now? I'm going to be honest. I would say no. I don't necessarily like who I am now. I don't necessarily like how I look. There's a certain look I'm trying to have, but I'm starting to realize that it's almost impossible for me to achieve that look because it's in terms of genetics. And I'm doing my best I can, but it gets to a certain point where you just can't, like I said, you think the things that you think about. There's not really necessarily like you don't really tell yourself to think this way. You just happen to think this way. It's not necessarily your fault. I mean, it's no one's fault besides, I guess you can blame media or other people around you. Like there's a certain life image that you try to achieve, and you just simply think that it's unreachable to you. And because of that, you just don't like how you look. And there's not really much you can, like I say, there's not really much you can do with it besides like just trying to move on, live life, and just keep going. There's really nothing else you can really talk about or really say to that. If someone asks you, I mean, if because you like I said, you have a certain image and you just can't help but wanting that type of image, and since you don't have that image, is that you just don't like it, and that's the truth. Some people don't necessarily talk about it. Some people don't admit it, but they just don't like the way they look. They just don't like the way they are. They are just not happy with themselves. It's kind of stupid though, thinking that way. It is dumb because like how can you know you're just doing more bad than good, right? And obviously you just forcing yourself to do more damage onto yourself, and it's like that's a stupid thing to do. But then it's like, can you really blame them? I mean, it's not that really their fault that they're damaging themselves. It's just like I'm all for it. If there's a certain goal, there's a certain image. If you want to change how you look to feel better about yourself, confident, because that's literally what bodybuilding is, right? Like you weren't happy with yourself, so you made the change. But now there's a certain limit, and this limit is unfair because it's not your fault that you are limited this way. Like for example, height. I think height is the best way I can really put it. Like, I'll admit it, I wish I was a little bit taller. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I still live life the same way as other people, but like I said, there's a certain look, there's a certain image, and it's just one of the like, I wish I was rich, right? I mean, that one I can change. Okay, that one I can change. But it's like being tall. There's a certain limit. It's not your fault that you're not tall. And then you just gotta deal with what you have, right? You just gotta deal with what you have, and I tell myself that all the time. Or you just gotta deal with it. This is you. This is who you are. This is the life that you have. You can try to change it as much as you can, and you have to reach. And you just gotta do as much as you can to feel better about yourself. That's really what all life is about. Is just managing yourself. Oh, was a good crack. But I don't know. This might be a lame video, but kind of want to just talking about it. But you know. All right. Feeling a little bit sleepy. I kind of just want to talk about that just for a little bit. This is a pretty quick video, but that's okay. Um, hopefully you liked watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.